to the world of the departed. And so AWUJOH is a celebration. It's a celebration of transformation. People move from one life to the other. And so we have that ceremony that actually celebrates that. In the past, we start celebrating that transformation from 3 days to 7 days to 40 days to 1 year and 5 years and then 10 years. This is the 5th celebration of the transformation of Mr. Fisher, who was a very good Christian gentleman and left a legacy that we should be proud of. So, for the benefits of our friends who are not from Sierra Leone, and those who are from Sierra Leone, please don't get bored if I repeat this over and over again, because you already know it. The AWUJOH has various components to it. In the morning, well, actually before the morning of the celebration, we put water and the person's favorite drink, and we cook food and leave it on the table overnight with the intention that these people will come and partake of the food. When we were younger, especially when we were hungry, we always look forward to that next day morning food. We didn't know what this tradition was all about. We were just hungry, we just want to eat. And people say, if the food turns bad, then they've eaten it. They have consumed it. If it doesn't, well, the children will have a feast and it will still be good. So, after that tradition, the very next day, you have traditions like this. People come together and celebrate. Celebration in our culture is a collective affair. We don't celebrate individually. Like some people will go to a hotel or a nice restaurant, and we don't do those things. Because when you celebrate, you're celebrating the village, you're celebrating the city, you're celebrating the culture, not just your immediate family. So that very next day, people will come together and cook. And that happened here today as well. Some people have traveled very, very far, California, East Coast, the UK. All of them are here today. Some of them been cooking since 6 o'clock this morning, maybe even sooner. Everybody has his or her own pot and his or her own space. And when someone is cooking that crane, please don't mess with her pot. I don't care if you're doing the same thing for this wonderful gathering that's here. Don't mess with her pot. That's how people take, that's how seriously people take this affair itself. So, they all come together and they cook. What you're going to partake of today is this collective contribution of our people in making this possible. And we don't ask any questions. You travel, you do it because it's part of our traditions. And you can see the kind of faithfulness that people show with the ceremony, the Christian ceremony that we just had. And it shows you that they love Christ as much as they love African traditions. And you'll see some of us dressed up in garbs that some of you may not be familiar with. Well, this is what they call Ashobi. Ashobi. That is people all dressed in the same print. Men don't usually do this, but you know, we're breaking tradition anyway. So we're becoming part of that Ashobi crowd. And in this situation, the Creole descendants united, the ones who are going to be serving the food, and the organization of which Mrs. Princess Patnelli is a member, are all dressed in their Ashobi. So please stand up, let our friends see you. Creole Descendants United.
take picture.
Thank you. So, the morning of before we have all this nice food to eat, there is another ceremony of this celebration, this AWUJOH celebration called Nyole. Nyole. And that's all part of our Creole but Yoruba traditions that have been incorporated into Creole. And what is the Nyole? Well, the Nyole is people gather together, especially the elders of the family. In the morning, some people would do it during the midday, but it doesn't matter. And they would dig a hole at the back of the house somewhere. And then the best choices of food, especially the food that the person who has passed liked, would be placed in that hole. And then we have kola nuts. They're red and they're white, sometimes pink. And when you open them, pods, you have, it's kind of like gambling. You have to throw the kola nuts. 2 have to be turned up and 2 have to be turned down. If you throw the kola nuts well, and before you throw the kola nuts, you have to talk to the person who has departed, as if they were there. Tell them about what they like, all the things that you've done, and talk about those family members who have been doing what they were supposed to do. Talk about those troublesome children and the fact that you want them to take care of, make sure that these kids are, come back to place. So you talk about all these things, and then you take the drink that this person likes, you pour it in there, and you take water and you pour it in the hole, and you shake the kola nuts and you throw it down there. You have to have 2 up and 2 down. If you have 2 up and 2 down, guess what? The family member is there. They've heard you, they love what you said, and we can move on. What happens if you don't have 2 up and 2 down? Well, somebody else has to come in and talk to that family member. And it will go on and on and on and on until you get 2 up and 2 down. The longer it takes, the more rum you got to give them. The more food you got to give them, because they're not happy. This is how we translate that particular part of the ceremony. So you throw the 2, and once they take it, the kola nut has to be eaten by all of those who are present. So you take a pick, you pass it on, and they drink the same thing. In those days we didn't worry about Ebola or viruses or anything like that. You just drink. And some people are happy, especially if it's rum that they like, or whiskey. They're just happy to drink that. So once you've done that, the Nyole is over. But that is the most important part of this celebration. Once the Nyole is over, people will come together and eat like we are doing now. There are people who, we call them professional AWUJOH crashers. They go to AWUJOH, from one AWUJOH to the next with their bags. They may not know the person, but they will be there and tell you all you need to know about that person, how they used to go hunting together, or how they used to go to the market together. And you may not know them, but you don't ask those questions. It's a collective celebration. So basically, once we finish that, this is what we have. People coming together, eating and celebrating. So that is the AWUJOH. And we hope you will enjoy it, for those of you who are new to it. And you can ask more questions from Sierra Leoneans, and they will fill you in with all of the other details that I didn't give you. All right, and I would like to thank the Patnelli family and all the members of the Fisher family for letting us be a part of this celebration today. And also, food is going to be served right now, and my dear wife would be helping with directing tables that would be served so we can have an organized serving strategy. And I want to also thank you for patiently listening to me, because this is not what you came here for. And we hope that you'll have a really good time. Those of you who know very little about our ceremonies, this will be a good gathering to ask as many questions as you like, to see how rich and wonderful this is. So we thank the Patnelli family, the Fisher family, for doing so well. And I will pass this on to the hostesses who will direct you according to the tables that will be served as we go along. Thank you very much.